For our purpose with the phrasing, so Cooper will not practice today.
He'll do individual drills and he won't partake in teams. So I don't know what that status is, but that's, there's no practice. I'm just telling you guys what the plan is for him. It went good. He's feeling good. And the important thing is what we've got to dictate and determine is, all right, is he going to be ready to play like Cooper Kupp's capable of playing? He's making good progress. I think we'll get a good feel. This will be the first time that you're able to do real football-like movements in some of the individual settings, and so I'll be able to have a good update for you guys tomorrow on that. Well, I think it's just the transition, some of the short area movements, some of the things that are necessary to be able to, be engaged as part of the blocking surface, or to be able to, work edges on people as a receiver. I think some of it too is even just, all right, when you're connected with somebody and it's a lean and press away, all right, what does that really feel like? But just the overall twitch, the overall strength and power with some of the movements that we'll ask of him. I think what's important, Sarah, you're mindful of that, but if he's going to be ready to go, then we want him to play, and if not, then we're hopeful that Thursday would be the day that he'd go.
You've talked about him and yourself being conscious of the difference between return to play and return to performance.
Yep.
So if he's not practicing today, and let's say he did practice Thursday and Friday, would you feel confident playing him on Sunday on 2 days of practice?
I would, yeah. And exactly what that role looks like, Gary, I can't answer that, but I do think there's certain guys, practice is really important, and you don't ever take for granted that you just show up. He still has done a lot of football-like movements, and there's no way to simulate the game-like settings. You try to do that in practice as much as possible, but if today, gives us the confidence that, all right, let's move forward, let's give him an uptick in terms of his progression, and there's a value in terms of what he can provide on Sunday, then that would definitely be something that I would leave the door open for.
The hamstring injury last year, obviously very different from an ankle, but did you feel like he got back to that return to performance when he came back last year?
I think there was moments, absolutely. I think the thing that's special about him is, and he'd be the one that's equipped to tell you exactly how he felt. I think there was moments where, you say, all right, he's feeling like he's at full strength. I know there was some times that he was playing that he wasn't, but I think about moments like the Baltimore game, and there was a lot of positive moments that he did have, in spite of knowing that, all right, it was frustrating to never feel like I was able to build the foundation that's key and critical to be able to, do some of the things that he's accustomed to doing and knowing what his body can feel like when it's right. But it is very different, and so I don't know if that answers your question or not.
As a play caller, how much does it change you having him?
Oh, significantly. But it is about the players, and I think that's one of the things that you have to do a good job of. I've always said, when people ask, what do you think makes a good coach? I think it's flexibility, adjustability, and adaptability. You have certain foundational things that you want to do, but ultimately it's always about your players and identifying their strengths. What are the best ways to put them in situations and circumstances that give them the best chance for success. In addition to considering, all right, what does the opponent present? What are their matchups? What are some of their structures defensively? But when you do have a guy that, I've been with Cooper, for 8 years, and there's a certain comfort, there's an understanding of, what he does, what he's comfortable with, where he can really bring value, and a lot of the different things that you guys have seen over the years. And so it certainly does, change some things, but you also have other guys that have been doing a good job that you want to be mindful of as well.
Raiders are in flux a bit, obviously, with the Devontae move, and then still figuring out what the best plan is for the quarterbacks. How dangerous can a team like that be when they're in the process of configuring an identity while also trying to win every game?
Yeah, I see a team that plays really hard on film, and in this league, and we've talked about it before, Jordan, it is so difficult to put it together to be able to get the result that you want. And you got to have a great week of preparation. We've got to really worry about, being ready to go and knowing that they're going to be ready to go. I know Coach Pierce will have those guys ready to go. And then when I look at the film, regardless of whatever those narratives are, I'm seeing a team that presents a lot of issues, both personnel-wise. They play hard, they're well coached, and so it's a great challenge for us, but it's a great opportunity for us to see if we can have the resolve and the improvement that's necessary, for us to do some of the things that we want to do in these last 12 games.
What challenges Brock potentially present against the secondary? You guys have moved some pieces around over the last, but they seem like you're playing him in a variety of different ways.
Oh yeah, for the same, he's a problem. I mean, he does a great job contributing to the blocking surface. He can play all over the core. They give him jet sweeps. He's creating after the catch. All the things that made him such a great prospect, you're seeing be brought to life early on in his NFL career. And so there isn't anything that he can't do. And I'm seeing a guy that has a complete game, and I think they do a great job of trying to feature him in a variety of ways. I expect them to have Myers back, who I have tremendous respect for. They've got tough backs, and so it's a great challenge. But Brock, I mean, you flip on the tape and you look at it, and he jumps off the screen at you.
Will that combination, if Myers does come back, specifically how they could be deployed in tandem, does that present a different type of challenge for your back seven?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it presents different challenges really for all 11 on defense, and Coach Getsy does a good job mixing up personnel groupings, and what kind of game do they want to make it, and then how do we do a good job of trying to be able to match up and play the way that we're that we expect to, and make some there were some positive strides, and then there's some things that we've really focused on, and I'm excited to see that stuff try to come to life on these games so that you guys can see what we're talking about, not exclusive to just out here in practice settings.
A couple more, guys.
When you're contemplating personnel changes, how do you weigh certain positions getting healthier versus having enough of a sample size where you feel like, okay, it needs to be introduced?
That's the challenge, especially once you get into this time of year where the reps are minimal, but they're so important. And then also, the game reps might be limited. And so what you try to do is you try to take all of that. You try to be able to say, all right, based on this evaluation and the projection, what do we think is best for our team? And it's not like sometimes it's a wholesale change. Sometimes it might be getting a guy a little bit more involved in a different personnel grouping. But those are some of the more challenging decisions that you do have to make, Stu, whether it be via injury or if we think there's somebody that deserves an opportunity because of performance reasons. And that's always the delicate balance. And you use all those factors, but then ultimately you have to be able to make a decision based on what you think is best for the football team and our team as a whole.
When you said the other day that Puka and Steve are still a ways away, with the short turnaround after this game, safe to presume they're not going to be back till at least after the Vikings?
Here's what I would say. I've tried to stay so much in, all right, hey, checking on guys, seeing how they're doing, and then I think, what you don't want to get caught up in is you're playing that waiting game and you're looking and it doesn't allow you to be present with the guys. I can't wait for those guys to be able to be back and be a part of this team. When exactly that is, I wouldn't rule that out, Gary, but that's not something that I have a total understanding of either.
Has Cooper been going through the locker room?
Last one.
No, I mean, he was just out there mentally, and when we did some stuff earlier, he's been in all the meetings, things like that, but he didn't take part in any of that. Okay? Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Did you update your IMDb page for your acting credits for the broadcast?
I did not. Don't know how to do that.
How'd that go?
It was fun. It was cool. I had the opportunity to do that a couple times. It's worked out a couple times. It's worked out that I've been out of town a few times, and I wasn't able to make it, but it was fun. Those guys are great. Everybody over there that I got to work with was cool.
Is this something you could see yourself doing on football?
I don't know. I had fun. I had fun on Sunday. That's a great group. Those guys got a really good thing going, but I'm not too worried about it at the moment, to be honest with you.
What when we spoke with Sean after that game, he had mentioned that you had some back soreness, and was that any more, than you normally absorb every week, or was that?
No, I feel pretty good. I feel good. The bye week came at a decent time for me, personally, and some other guys on our team too, as far as physical health goes. So I feel, better and fresh like you do most bye weeks coming out of them. But I feel pretty good.
You've got obviously plenty of talented guys out there, but if Cooper's back, how does that change you?
I'm not sure if he is or not, but when he comes back at some point, he's just such a great football player. I mean, you just add another really good football player to our mix. He does everything for us. He blocks. He obviously is great in the pass game. He's super, intelligent. Helps everybody around him be better. And whenever that happens, we'll be obviously excited to have him back.
Matthew, what's the overall feeling in the locker room right now?
I think excited to be back. The week was good to get away, but I think guys are excited to be back here, getting to work. Obviously, a couple home games, in a row, and a chance to, put our foot in the right direction and get moving in the right direction, which is what our goal is.
Coach McVay talked about
that's really taken that to heart and has really, stepped up in the last couple of weeks?
No, I think the whole team's doing it. I can't pick out one person, to be honest with you. I think everybody's doing everything they can to try to be the best version of themselves, whether that's competing with somebody else in their room or, competing with, DBs trying to cover receivers, receivers trying to get open against DBs or compete with yourself, whatever it is. Just trying to find a way to be better for our team as a collective unit.
What's been your experience competing against Max Crosby in terms of on-field interactions and whatnot?
Yeah, I mean he's an incredible player, to be honest with you. He jumps off the tape. He's in there on every single play. His effort is relentless. He obviously has great skill, technique, physical attributes as well, but he's got the motor to go with it that's as good or better than everybody that I've put on when I watch tape. So really great competitor. We practiced against him a couple times, and that same energy and effort was there. But overall, an enjoyable guy to compete against. He's intense out there. He loves playing the game. He loves competing, and he's a really, really good player.
I remember from those joint practices you mentioned how his play energy does not change, but also his vocality. What are you expecting from him? What did you notice during those sessions? We could always hear him even back then.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, he's a fun guy, man. He loves to be out there playing. He loves to be talking, but he can back it up. So he's a hell of a player. Got a ton of respect for him and a bunch of guys on their defense, to be honest with you. And I think their defense feeds off him and his relentless effort and the way he plays, and that's why they are as good as they are.
What else sticks out to you about their defense a couple years now under the same defense?
Yeah, really well coached. You look across the board, they present a bunch of different looks. A bunch of different personnel groupings. They do a really nice job. It's a really buttoned up, well coached outfit, and then they've got really good players. They got good players at all three levels, guys that can affect the game in a positive way for them, get the football back, all those kind of things. So they're a really solid unit.
Do you have a receiver who's working his way back in practice? Is there anything that you're watching during those workouts to kind of just gauge where they're at before a game?
No, not me personally. I'm trusting the guys, whoever they are, and how they feel. I'm not inside their body. I'm not figuring out, what hurts, what doesn't hurt. So those guys are. I'm trusting those guys to be honest and telling people to feel the way they feel, and if they're ready to go, they're ready to go.
Did anything jump out to you in this bye week, looking at film, and Sean had talked about that, really taking a step back to take forward if we could be better here or there?
Yeah, I mean there's a lot of good on the tape, and then some plays that are turning games, and that's what it feels like. We're doing a really nice job of moving the ball between the 20s, playing good defense, and then a play here or there, whether it's a turnover on offense or a missed opportunity in the red zone or a big play given up on defense. I mean, they're just little plays here and there, and that's the name of the game in the NFL. A bunch of games are one-score games. Can you win them or do you lose? And we obviously didn't do a good enough job in the first 5, getting enough wins on our belt. But there's more football to be played, and we have a good feeling on what we're trying to do moving forward.
With that as local as Max is, what part of you as a competitor takes joy in getting the last word, the last laugh, a la win?
Yeah, I'm not a huge talker out there on the field. I do love playing the game. I enjoy it, but it wouldn't matter if there was nobody talking to me or everybody was talking to me. I'm just doing everything I can to try and get a win.
When you guys came out of the bye last year, what was the attitude like? And was that kind of a slow build to the run you made, or do you feel like you guys came out with a different attitude that enabled you guys to kind of get?
No, I think the first game after the bye, I believe, was Seattle at home, right? It wasn't like we went in there and won 40-10. That's not the NFL, and it's continuing to stack good days on top of each other, finding ways to win football games, even if you don't play your best in certain areas, which is inevitable in this league, and just trying to do the things that it takes to win games. That's, take care of the football, control the line of scrimmage, score when you get in the red zone, be good on third down, all those kind of things. You just continue to try to get better and better at that, and let the big plays and the big scores happen. Cool.
Thank you.
Thanks
Very much.